The construction stage is a very vital stage in your building construction project, and there are certain mistakes that can make you to go beyond your budget at this crucial stage, and in some cases these mistakes can even make you to extend the time of completion of your project. Now watch this video to the end as I show you 5 mistakes to avoid at the construction stage of your project so that you have a smooth experience while building a house in Nigeria. Now, in my experience as a building contractor here in Nigeria, I know how discouraging it can be when your builder or your engineer tells you that the amount of money you budgeted for a particular job at the construction stage will not complete that job. It can be very discouraging, and this can even make you to spend more than you should or more than you have budgeted, which may make you to take unnecessary breaks that you're not supposed to at the construction stage. That is why I'm making this video, so that you'll be informed of the reasons that could cause some of these scenarios, so that you will know how to avoid these mistakes while building a house in Nigeria. The first mistake you should not make at the construction stage of your building project is not following your architecture plan. Now, you remember in the part 1 of this video, I said that before you start building your project, building your house, that you must have a building plan and architecture design. So if you design a house for your building project, then you must follow it at the construction stage. Don't start making adjustments that may make you to spend more than you budgeted for the project. So that is why it is important to hire an experienced architect that will give you a professionally designed house, so that you have no need of making unnecessary adjustments at the construction stage, because this may make you to go beyond your budget at this stage. So you, as the client, you have to make sure that your builder is following the architecture plan, especially if the architecture drawing is if the architecture plan is designed by an experienced architect, because an experienced architect will make sure that there will be no need for unnecessary adjustments. But for any reason you want to make some adjustments, maybe you don't like the way the house is coming up or the way it is appearing at the construction stage, and you want to make adjustments as the client, then you have to understand that there may be cost implications. Because remember, the bill of quantity, which shows the estimated cost of constructing your house, was derived or extracted from the building plan designed by your architect. So that is why it is important for you to understand that if you want to make any adjustments at the construction stage, that it will influence or it will affect the overall cost of construction or the overall cost of constructing your house. And this, you have to bring your builder and have a proper communication with him or conversation with him, so that you people know how to adjust or how to factor in those extra costs that may come up because of the extra adjustments or amendments on site. Now, on the side of the builder, he has to adhere to the information in the architectural plan, and it is your duty as the person that owns the house to tell your builder to follow what is in the architecture drawing, especially if the house was designed by an experienced architect or someone that has good knowledge of building design. Because the reason why it's important for your builder to follow the architectural design is because if he makes any adjustments out of his own initiative, then this may also have an impact on the cost of construction. And if you are not prepared for that extra cost that will come up as a result of his amendments of the plan, or as a result of the new adjustments he made on the plan of the house, then you may find out that you're going to spend more than you budgeted for that particular stage of the building construction. So that is why it's important that you and your builder should stick to the plan that was designed by the architect for the project, so that there will not be extra costs that will come up at the construction stage. And for any reason you want to make adjustment, then you have to also be ready to factor in the extra cost that will be involved because of the adjustment. Another mistake you should not make at the construction stage of your building project is relying on your friend's advice when it comes to the technical aspect of the building project. So I will tell you a story why I am telling you not to rely on your friend's advice when it comes to the techniques involved in the building construction process. So even if your friends might have built their own house, that does not make them qualified to give you advice when it comes to the construction process. Now, there's something that happened when I was building a house for one of my clients. At the construction stage, when we got to the lintel level, we reinforced the external walls of the house. And now, based on what I saw on site and the nature of the soil, I told my client that there is need for us to also reinforce the internal walls of the house. So his friends, or his friend who had already built his own house, advised him wrongly, telling him that it was not necessary to reinforce the internal walls, that all he needed to do was to reinforce the door openings, and that was all. But from my experience building houses in Nigeria, and from my experience generally, I know what the nature of the soil looks like, or what it looked like. So, and that was the reason why I advised him to reinforce the internal walls of the house. But he refused. I tried my best to persuade him to do that, but he refused. And remember, he's the one paying, or he's the one funding the project. So I had no other option than to continue the project the way he wanted it. Now, after the roofing of the house, I now discovered, when I came to site, I discovered cracks on some of the walls, some of the internal walls of the house. So, but later we found a way to handle that particular challenge so that it will not be a problem to the house. So the point I'm trying to make is, this is just an instance that I'm giving you. There could be other instances that may cause problem for you on site if you rely on your friend's advice when it comes to the technical aspect of the building construction process. Leave that task to your builder. You hired a builder or a building contractor or a building engineer. You're the one that hired the person. Give him space to do his job, except if he doesn't know what he's doing. As long as the person knows what he's doing, give him the space to do his job. And if you must assess his job, if you must assess the job of your builder, it should not be based on your friend's advice. Rather, it should be based on the advice you get from someone else that is experienced in the field of building construction. So if for any reason you want to assess the job that your builder is doing or your contractor is doing for you, then you may bring in an independent builder or an engineer that may come to site, or someone that is experienced, an independent expert in building construction that will come and assess his job. But then, for you not to create problem for you not to bring up problem between you and the builder handling your project, you need to bring in someone that is experienced and also trusted, so that he will give you the best information or the accurate information about the project. So do not rely on your friends' advice when it comes to the technical aspect of the building construction process. Now, if you're coming across this channel for the first time, my name is Emmanuel Amade, and I share my experience as a building contractor on this channel to help you to start and complete your building project. So I encourage you to like this video so that it will be pushed to other people, so that they will also benefit from the value in this video. It doesn't cost you anything to like the video. Just give it a like and I will highly appreciate that. Also, if you've not subscribed to the channel, I want you to subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel so that you receive more content like this. Another mistake you should not make at the construction stage of your building project is buying building materials in bulk if you do not have a proper way of storing them. It's important for you to understand that building construction is done in stages, and I know sometimes people buy building materials in bulk because you don't know if there will be an increase in the prices of building materials, or you don't know what might happen, so you want to buy in bulk so that you save money even if there is an increase in the prices of material. But then let me tell you, building construction is done in stages, and even if you buy large quantity of materials, you have to use the normal quantity you need for a particular stage of the building project. For instance, if you are at the foundation stage, it is just the normal quantity of material that you need at the foundation stage. The other materials will be waiting until you finish the one you need for that foundation stage. So if you don't have a proper way of storing them, so you don't have to buy them in box, because if you buy them in box, they might become prone to damage. You understand? So it's important that you buy the quantity of materials you need at every stage of your building construction project. For instance, if you buy a large quantity of cement during the construction stage of your house and you don't have a proper way of storing them, what if rain comes? What will happen? It means that you might run the risk of losing some of the materials because they might damage at the end of the day. And if you're storing blocks on your site and you don't have security on your site, or if there is no proper security on your site, then you might find out that before you finish your building project, that most or some of the blocks may be stolen from your site. So that is why it's important, if you don't have a proper way of storing some delicate building materials, then it's important for you not to buy them in bulk, but rather buy as much as you need at every stage of the building construction process. Another mistake you should not make at the construction stage of a building construction project is using less quantity and quality of materials from what is specified in your bill of quantity. I know everybody or most people want to save cost when it comes to building construction, but you have to also be careful while you're trying to save costs, so that you will not end up building your house with materials that are of less quality, and also building your house with less quantity of materials from what is specified for the project, so that at the end of the day you will not have need to start amending the house, the project, or you will not have reason to see a part of your project, a part of your house collapse or something of that nature. So you want to build your house with the best type and the best quality of materials. You understand? If the bill of quantity says use 12 rod at this part or this aspect of the project, then use 12 rod. If the bill of quantity says use 16 rod here, use it there. If the bill of quantity, just whatever is specified, or if the structural drawing says this is what you will use at this stage, at this aspect of the building project, so use whatever is specified in your construction drawing and in your bill of quantity. So this will help you to be in a safe position so that your property will not have any issue even after the construction, because using materials that are of less quality and materials that are, if you're using materials that have less quality, then it might affect the project that you're doing. At the long run, you may discover that your house will not be of the very best quality that it should. The same thing applies to using less quantity of materials from what is specified in both the structural, architectural drawing, structural drawing, and bill of quantity, because these may have impact on the project. For instance, if the bill of quantity says use 5 bags of cement for this particular casting, then you have to stick to that. Don't try to use lesser quantity of materials, because that may impact the project negatively. And it's also your duty to make sure that your builder understands the importance of sticking to the quantity of materials specified for your project. Though in most cases, good builders and contractors will always adhere or stick to these specifications. Where the problem comes in most cases is from the client, who may be telling them that they are using much materials or they want to save costs here and there. So always make sure that you adhere to the specifications of materials on your project at the construction stage. Another mistake you should not make while building a house in Nigeria at the construction stage is overloading the foundation of your house. So let me explain what I mean by this. If you're building a house and the structural, whatever the structural drawing or the architectural drawing specified that you will use for that particular house, make sure you adhere to that. For instance, if you're building a story house and the architectural drawing and the structural drawing says use this quantity of materials at the foundation stage, then use those materials at the foundation stage and construct the foundation of a story house. Don't add extra load to the foundation of that house or extra load to that house, because if you add extra load to the house, you have directly added an extra load to the foundation of the house. Now let me give you an instance. What happened in my state not long ago? Someone was building a story house, so they constructed the foundation of a story house. Now later in the construction process, they now decided to add an extra floor to the story house, making it 2-story building. And they did not consider the foundation of the house, because they constructed the foundation of a story house. So if you want to add extra load to the house, you should also consider the foundation that you constructed. So they added extra floor to the 1-story house, making it 2-story house, whereas they constructed the foundation of a story house. And what later happened was the extra floor collapsed, because the foundation was the foundation of a story house, whereby they ended up building 2-story house. So that was how the extra floor collapsed, and they had issue in that project. So they had issue. Not only that they had issue, the government came in and there was so many issues that came up on that project. So that is why it's important that you will not overload the foundation of your house. If you have the foundation of a bungalow and later in the construction process you wanted to add extra for, like making it a story house, then you need to do proper amendments and adjustments to the foundation so that it will be able to carry the extra load that you're putting on top of the house, and so that you'll be able to carry the suspended floor that you add to the house. So it's important that you don't overload the foundation of your house from what is specified in your construction drawing and in the bill of quantity. So these mistakes are what you should avoid if you want to have a smooth experience while building a house in Nigeria, especially at the construction stage. Now, I made a video that shows you the mistakes you should avoid before starting a building project, and if you've not watched it, I encourage you to watch it. I'll provide a link in the description of this video that will take you straight to that video so that you will know the mistakes you should avoid before starting a building project, so that with the knowledge of these mistakes you should avoid before and at the construction stage, you'll be able to have a smooth experience while building a house in Nigeria. Thank you for watching my video, and do subscribe to this channel if you've not subscribed, and please give this video a like so that it will be pushed to other people. Thank you once again for watching my video. I'll see you in my next video.